So speaking of Elon Musk, this is just funny. This is from Yahoo News. Gamers are accusing Elon Musk of cheating at popular video games by allegedly turning to loopholes and hiring better users to play for him. So I guess Elon Musk was bragging about being one of the top-ranked Diablo 4 players.
And hold on, Tom. Hold on. Now, Tom, occasionally you and I will do a show, and there'll be an amazing thing that'll pop up in your area of expertise.
Yeah.
So it'll be like housing industry. And then I'll just turn it over to you and be like, Tom, tell us what's happening here. So I'm going to take the reins for a minute.
Talk me through it, buddy.
Because I play both these games.
It's so Diablo 4, and what's the other one?
Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2. So Path of Exile 2 is currently the number 4th ranked game on Steam. Path of Exile 1 was kind of a niche game. It's a lot like Diablo, except for it's a little more complicated. Like building a character is a lot more intricate. And so there's a lot more different ways in which you can have a character and a lot more things that you can do than Diablo is very linear. This is a little more complicated, a lot more complicated actually. And they came out with a new game recently. It's in beta. It's in the sort of playtest phase. It's not fully released yet. And it's called Path of Exile 2. And I got this game. I was playing it. Now I'm not a god gamer. I'm just a dude who plays, right? I'm just a guy who plays. I don't play hardcore. The things that Elon was doing was playing hardcore characters. And if you're unfamiliar with hardcore characters, if a character dies in this game, they're just dead and that character is done. It can't play again. You die one time. That's it. That's the end of the game. So do
you lose all your shit?
You lose everything. It's all over. Now, in some games, they will port you to essentially to the moment you die, you can't trade with any of the other hardcore characters and you can't give equipment and stuff between your hardcore characters, but it can go to what they call softcore, which are the people who can just die as many times and they just get resurrected. And that'll basically turn you from a hardcore to a softcore character. Sometimes it just says you're just done. It just depends on the game.
Okay.
I don't know what those parameters are because I never play a hardcore character because I'm just an old guy who plays video games. Like I'm not like a guy who's trying to do things competitively. But these games can get very competitive. And in this case, there's a thing called a ladder. Now, the ladder is for these hardcore characters and for other types of characters, they have a thing called a ladder. And these are the characters that have built their character. These guys built their characters up to a very high level and they're playing the hardest content in the game. In order to get your character into the top 10 on these ladders, you need to be playing this video game for 20 hours a day minimum. That's a minimum.
Jesus fucking shit.
That's
Are you kidding?
Minimum, right?
Cecil, now, I just want to point out, there are only 24 hours in a day, even if you play video games.
Yeah, these guys play an intense amount of time. But, a lot of these people are streamers. This is how they make their income. And when the game first releases, right, that's when they make their most money. It's like the big rush at your work when you have to stay late hours. When the game first releases, all these Twitch streamers and YouTube content creators, they spend, they're working around the clock for weeks at a time.
Jesus.
And many of these guys, they show you that they are on the top of this ladder. They're doing the toughest content. They're playing the hardest stuff. And they show Elon. Elon goes online and he's trying to tell people what he's doing, right? So he's trying to describe what he's doing, but he's getting all the terminology wrong. And he's walking around and he's saying things that no one would ever say. And the very best part,
was it all about the coaching? Because I feel like
the very best part, Tom, where it was someone else. Someone else was using his computer and his character to run it and make it very, this 99th level. Because there's no way Elon Musk is spending 20 hours at a computer playing this game.
No, that makes no sense.
There's no way he's doing it. Instead, he's paying someone to run his character up and then he's taking credit for it. Well, the reason why it's super obvious is he has no idea what any of the equipment on him does. He has some of literally the best, like what they call mirror tier. It doesn't make any sense to you, but he has like mirror tier gear. So it's like the highest level tier gear. It's like gear you can't even as a really dedicated player, you might never see a piece of this gear ever in your life. He's got all his gear is just decked out amazing. And he's kind of shitting on it, being like, this is only like a level 53 pair of gloves, but they seem to work. And you're like, dude, those gloves are the best gloves They're better than anyone else in the game. No one else has those gloves. No one else would ever be able to get those gloves. They're that good. And he doesn't even know what he has because he doesn't know.
Right.
And then they open his inventory. And this is the best part. You have maps, these maps that you go through that you have to like plug into this thing. It's like a generator and it generates a brand new map for you and you go into it, right? Well, he opens up his inventory and in the corner on the tab, it says Elon's Maps. He's referring to himself either in the third person or there is someone who he's paying a lot of money to
game for him.
To game for him. And then so he could take all the accolades.
Oh my God,
and,
I love it.
And the best part is that like I saw a clip of Joe Rogan talking about this with another guy being like, man, he's just like so fucking amazing. He just like run a space rocket industry and he's got Tesla and he's the CEO of Twitter and he's like the best Diablo gamer too, man. He's like the best. It's just like he's so good at everything. And you're like, dude, he's lying to you.
Yeah,
he's
right.
not the best at any of those things, but he's almost certainly not the best at the other things because he's paying people to do the work for him.
Jesus Christ.
He's lying. He's lying for cred with gamers, man.
I know. Dude, I do wonder, though, if he could throw this football over those mountains.
I guarantee he can't.
You know, like this
he has to go pay that strongest man in the world. And that strongest man in the world has to staple a mask that makes him look like Elon Musk for a few minutes.
What a fucking goofy fucking thing to go through this much effort and money to lie about.
It's so tragic and like just it's like so cringe, dude.
Here's what's crazy about that. The people, Cecil, that he could fool wouldn't value it.
Yeah.
Right? And the people that value that, he can't fool. So like if he could fool me, right? If he was like, oh, I'm the number 7 Diablo 4 player. I don't know what mirror gear is. I don't know that you have to play 20 hours a day to get that high up. I don't know any of that stuff until I just learned it from you. So if he told me that, I'd be like, God damn, dude, fucking good at Diablo 4. But I don't value
who cares?
that.
Yeah.
But so
the people
for me,
who do it,
that's not a flex, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, do it. Yeah.
Cool hobby, man. I have your hobbies. I don't care. But the people that like really value that immediately see through it. So it's actually the weirdest lie possible because when it works, it's stupid. When it doesn't work, he's stupid.
And the best part is that there's people who have been calling him out for it. One of these guys who called him out is Quinn69. He does a Path of Exile streams. He's this meathead guy who plays characters, these hardcore characters. He's one of those guys on that tier, right? He's one of those guys on that hardcore tier. And he's playing the game, and he did a whole debunking video of showing him. But there's another guy who's like a right-wing guy. His name's like Asmongold or something like that. I don't watch this particular person. I don't watch a lot of these guys. I just know of them. But this guy is like a right-leaning guy, and I guess he talks shit. So Elon started leaking his DMs on Twitter out because he was mad at him. So he's leaking his DMs. He took his blue check mark away because the guy said, hey, you're lying about being a top tier Path of Exile 2 player. And so Elon threw a fit and like fucked him over on Twitter.
And went into his account and started leaking his fucking Twitter DMs?
Leaking DMs. Yeah, leaking DMs between him.
This is why oligarchs are bad, right?
Dude, he's the worst. What? Elon Musk is the worst.
God.
He's such a child. He's such a baby. He's such a spoiled brat. And he's such a liar. He's the worst. He's the guy who would invite you over to his house when you were a kid, and he would play a one-player game while you sat there, and he would never share the controller. That's Elon Musk.
Yep. I had a friend in 6th or 7th grade that did that shit all the time. Like, did that. We'd go like to his house to hang out.
Did you have that same friend in 8th grade?
Nope. I was like, no, that dude sucks.
Yeah, that dude sucks. Fuck that guy.
Yep.
Fuck that guy. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I do want to remind people that I have another show that I'm still trying to grow. So if you want to head over, it's a really fun show called The No Rogan Experience, KNOW. You can find it at No Rogan, KNOWROGAN.com. It's a collaboration between myself and Michael Marshall from Skeptics with a K and the editor of the Skeptic UK magazine. He's a really smart guy, and I get a chance to talk to him. We review an episode of Joe Rogan once a week. We just dropped a few episodes last week. The show, it seems to be people really like it. So if you would like to hear what's happening on Rogan, hear some people talk about what Rogan is saying on the clips as well as his guests, you can go check it out. I would really appreciate it. It'd be really awesome if you just went over and just like gave it a listen and see what you think. We think it's a really worthwhile show. So please head on over to knowrogan.com and give it a try. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. We're going to leave you like we always do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter, mommy issue, hypno-Babylon bullshit. Couched in scientician, double bubble, toil and trouble, pseudo quasi alternative, acupunctuating, pressurized, stereogram, pyramidal, free energy healing, watered downward spiral, brain deadpan sales pitch, late night info docutainment. Leo, Pisces, cancer cures, detox, reflex, foot massage, death and towers, tarot cards, psychic healing, crystal balls, Bigfoot, Yeti, aliens, churches, mosques and synagogues, temples, dragons, giant worms, Atlantis, dolphins, truthers, birthers, witches, wizards.
And then there was an eclipse and the whole town went dark and everybody...
Nuts. Shaman healers, evangelists, conspiracy, doublespeak, stigmata, nonsense. Expose your sides. Thrust your hands, bloody, evidential, conclusive. Doubt even this.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/dissonancepod. Help us spread the word by sharing our content. Find us on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Threads, all under the handle @dissonancepod. This show is CAN-credentialed, which means you can report instances of harassment, abuse, or other harm on their hotline at 617-249-4255 or on their website at creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org.